Nicole here today with an Under the Sea birthday pop-up card. This is featuring lots of lawn fawn stamps and dies, but the main component of the whole card is this awesome scallop box card pop-up. This creates an interactive pop-up style card so easily. If you have seen pop-up cards and have wanted to make some for your own, and it's been kind of intimidating like it is for me, this die collection is going to make it so easy to create your own pop-up cards. The possibilities are absolutely endless, and it gives you tons of real estate to create a really interactive full scene type of card, which is what I absolutely love. I call it an Under the Sea birthday pop-up. While I was doing this, for some reason the theme song or the Under the Sea song from The Little Mermaid kept going on repeat in my head, and my kids were singing it along because they thought this card was just really super fun, even my 18-year-old son. So that says a lot. The components here for the card are the pop-up pieces. I did cut out some of this. This is kind of a long video. I left in a lot of the coloring and things, but this is the scallop box card pop-up. All of the extra little pieces here, there's pieces for banners, there's all the panels for all of the different parts of the card, and then of course the pop-up itself. You're going to need 2 of these panels to make the box. After that, the most critical component is this little die here. This is what's going to create all of those little sections in the pop-up box, and you can use as many of these as you want. It's kind of consider it as layers. So however many layers you want for your card, that is what that's for. And then of course you can see that little white rectangle. I have quite a few more of those, but those are all die cut using either the squares or the rectangles from the scallop box card pop-up. And those panels are going to go on the flaps of the card that you'll see. My box is die cut from some Moonstone cardstock. I think this is a perfect color for water themed cards. I've used it before for another card, and I absolutely love it. In order to make this pop-up be a little bit more under the sea type feeling, I am going to go ahead and use the Ocean Wave border dies and die cut some additional Moonstone cardstock with these dies. And I die cut them a little bit longer than what I actually need, and I can trim them down after a bit. I like to kind of start a little bit longer, and then I will position those in those little sections that go in the pop-up to fit. I'm also inking up the edges with some weathered wood distress ink. This is going to give just a tiny bit of dimension to the edges, darken the edges a little bit, and add some interest. I went ahead and stamped all of my images off camera simply because there's so many. And you'll see that this whole little sheet here is full. Plus I'm going to have a whole other little almost 3/4 of a sheet in a little bit. And the reason I think that with this kind of a card, it's so important to really make it full and interesting, because there are so many layers. What I love is this was definitely inspired by the shark from the Duh-nuh stamp set, which is a new one from the summer 2017 release that I love. And it's the shark and the shark fins and the one little fish. But I went ahead and took images from lots of ocean beach themed stamp sets from Lawn Fawn. Some of them are from not too far back. Some of them are from quite a ways back. And that is the fantastic thing about Lawn Fawn stamps, is that you can mix and match and everything is going to coordinate. So I've got images from Duh-nuh, like I just said, the jellyfish from So Jelly. There will be a crab, a starfish, sand dollar, the beach, a seashell, bucket, the sandcastles. That is all from Life is Good. And that's kind of from a little bit further back. So that's from a couple years ago. Fantastic Friends. This has got fantastic fish in it. Another little sandcastle piece, the fish food, seaweed, coral, all of those images plus the fantastic greeting. that I'm going to use for the front of my card come from this. And so those are the main stamp sets for the images. There's going to be a couple others for the greeting portion of this, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the card. So lots and lots of coloring. I have listed the colors here along the bottom of the screen. There are quite a few, however, I did try to not go too far out of the range. So if I'm using orange, I'm using the orange colors shown here. I didn't go and pull extras. If I wanted to darken up some of the yellow fish, there's some light yellow and then there's some kind of medium tone yellow. I just pulled in a little orange and blended it into the yellow. Anything that's red is going to be used with the red markers shown here. Anything pink is going to be with the pink markers. The browns for the sand and the sand castles, I use that for that seashell. So here's some pinks that I'm going to blend a little yellow into for the clamshell. Just trying to get the most out of the markers that I pulled, since there are quite a few being used here. I didn't want to go too crazy with too many markers. But again, lots of color make for a very interesting and fun card. I definitely went for the rainbow type feel here. The Moonstone cardstock is a nice muted blue cardstock, and I absolutely love that. And it gives a great background or backdrop for bright and fun colors. I pulled in even a little aqua. I felt like I needed a little something different, so I did pull in a little aqua, but I'm going to blend in my yellows into the stomach area of that. Lots of dot detail to add interest to the images. So here are my two panels. To begin with, I am only going to score the vertical parts of the card. Anything there with the scallop along the top edge, I am going to just go ahead and leave for just right now, and I'm only going to attach one side of the pop-up. So I'm going to line that up, and it's going to be in a really long strip that you can see here. And that's how it's going to fold down, and then it'll pop up. And I will secure that here in just a little bit. Now to add those tabs, super easy. It's really best to lay your card down flat, because see, those little tabs fit inside there, but it's kind of tricky if you put the box together first. So a great little tip is to fold in those tabs, score them, and then go ahead and attach them here right along the front edge. So I like to do all of the one side first, and unfortunately my video camera did something strange right while I was doing this. Of course it wouldn't do it when I was coloring. It was when I was assembling this, and so some of it blacked out and I wasn't able to share this, but I'm going to attach all of these tabs, one right in front of another along this side panel. Then I will add adhesive to the second end. After all of these are laying flat, I'll add adhesive to the other side of all of these tabs and simply fold my card shut to attach those, and it's going to perfectly line up all of these little tabs inside the pop-up. So if you try to put the box together first and you've not had luck trying to put all of these little tab sections in, it's so great to just line them up like this. You can see I've done a couple of them now. Then I'm going to fold them up and in, put adhesive on them, and fold the box shut. The adhesive is going to perfectly line up on the other short end of the box and secure it. You can put a little adhesive then on that other tab to secure the box and give it that box shape. So again, I'm just lining this up right in front of the other. Kelly Marie has done a fantastic video on this on the lawnfawn channel, so if you check that out, it's going to give you really detailed instructions on putting together the box. Now, to really be able to add all of these fun little images, they are very little. They might be kind of tricky to add to each of these layers in the pop-up. What makes it so easy is I have some scraps of transparency, leftover smaller strip pieces that I have used like maybe at the bigger sheet for shaker cards. So I cut all of that leftover into thin strips. It's clear, so it's not going to take away from the design. And I'm simply attaching all of my little critters to these clear transparency strips and then popping those into each of the sections. Those clear strips are going to be critical for making lots of dimension inside the pop-up card. Something to keep in mind is you don't want anything to stick up higher than that back scallop panel. So you can see 3 of the sides of the pop-up are folded down and out. The back piece is not folded along the score line, and that is on purpose. That's going to make it stick up nice and straight and be the background for the scene card. And it's also going to serve as a good guide. You don't want anything to go higher than that because it will stick up too far and you won't be able to get your card in a standard A2 sized envelope. When this is all folded shut, it's actually A2 sized. So it just pops up and out into that square shape. So it's still super easy to mail. You're not trying to mail a box, you're just mailing a standard flat card, and when the recipient gets it, they can just simply pop it up really easy. So here are all those, I'm just simply putting it all together. I have tons of pieces. You can see that here. This is what I was talking about, making a really full beachy under the water scene. I wanted it to be really colorful and really fun. The coloring did take quite a bit of work, but I think it really makes it worth it. I'm even adding some little seaweed and coral pieces right there along the front of the card. On all of the flaps, this is going to be kind of where I share the beachy part. I also have some beachy stuff that I'll be putting on the background, that back flat panel that I was just talking about that serves as the guide, kind of so you don't want to go above that. That's going to be a beach and some sandcastles. A lot of it isn't going to be really visible unless you get up really close to it, but I wanted something in the background so it looks like all this water kind of flowing up into a beach scene in the back of the card. I'll simply just keep adding these. You can really see the transparency pieces better there. Then this is the front panel, the part you're going to read when you pop open the card. I used the Misty to stamp You Are Jossum from the Duh-nuh stamp set. The little beach from Life is Good fits perfectly along the bottom there. Adding seaweed, a sand dollar, a starfish, a little crab, or a lobster. And just little things here to make it interesting and make it fun. This is going to be part of the little beachy scene, and it's actually going to go all the way around. So if you look at the box card, like from up on top, the 2 side panels will also have beach scenes on them. But this is the point of the design where I get to it and realized I actually needed more images. So even after having all of these fish and sharks and jellyfish and seaweed and coral pieces and all of this, I still need more to really round out the design of the card. So here's it flat and it pops up. So super cute. So here are the rest of my images I stamped. In fact, I think I had even one more beach scene. Needed several of them for the design here. And the sand castles and buckets and a few additional fish, just little things like that. The E40, 43, and just a tiny bit of E44 make for perfect sand. Little dot detail here and there. Again, I'm just going to pull my yellow markers, some nice primaries for the bucket with some yellows. The shovel in the bucket is going to be red and the handle blue. The fish food, the little fish, same colors as the fish that I've colored up above. The fish food jar, go ahead and do some aqua there. And a little kind of a gray or silver for the lid on the fish food. And then the little beach from Life is Good is a little too wide for the squares that are going to go on the side. So I'm going to trim those down so that the design looks seamless. So it fits within the stitching lines of those panels. And then pop that on each of the little squares. Attach the rest of these to the background panel and also the other panel will be for the front there, and go ahead and finish building my background scene. So this is going to be the sandcastle, which I used the sandcastle from Life is Good and the other little smaller piece from Fantastic to make a really big sandcastle-y background. And then my little crab is going to be kind of sticking up there in the back. He's going to be attached with one of those transparency pieces in the pop-up. Kind of right in front of that is what I wanted him to look like. But I want to make sure I fill up all of these panels really well. So these are all of my extra pieces that I'm fitting in here and there. So these will be the background and the two side panels. Anything small I am attaching with some Zotz Bling glue dots. Anything like the larger rectangle or square panels is attached with some glue glider adhesive. For the front of my card greeting, I actually didn't get that on video either, but it's greetings from the Happy, Happy, Happy and Fantastic joined together to make my little front, and then the to and from is from the brand new stamp set, the tiny tag saying's birthday. Added a little fish and some bubbles filled in with glossy accents, and you'll see that in a little bit when it's all finished. That'll be the front panel. So when you get the card in the mail, you'll see that panel that says wishing you a fantastic birthday with the to and the from. So that's where you can write the recipient's name and, you know, write your name to say who it's from, and then they can pop it open. And it's just a cute little card that I think would be fantastic for anybody and really bring a smile to the recipient's face. And it's something that they can easily sit on a shelf or sit on their desk and enjoy. Thanks for joining me today for this scalloped box card birthday pop-up card that's under the sea themed with lots of fish and other beachy elements. Detail was added to all of the fish and critters' eyes with a black glaze pen, and then some glossy accents for the bubbles on the front of the card as well. I hope this has inspired you to try your own scalloped box card pop-up with the fantastic dies from Lawnfawn. Please be sure to check out the Lawnfawn blog for more information and lots of inspiration. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.